Trevor Jackson podcast.
What's popping with y'all, man, on this hump day? You know, all my years consuming, creating, and indulging in hip-hop, I never thought I would see it get to the place of lawsuits and stuff, though. But thinking about all the snitching and stuff like that, you know, ain't no morals and integrity in the streets has actually been removed from this thing that we call hip-hop. Now we got this legal drama with Camron suing JCole. Claims he owe him $500,000 for Ready 24. You know what I want to say about JCole? Since he left Rock Nation and went independent, he has had a lot of mistakes doing it on his own. Like, you know, he got involved in that beef. You know, now he's involved in a lawsuit. And, you know, I feel like he's somewhere on a mountain, somewhere meditating and just preparing to drop probably the hardest album of his career, to be honest with you. What I think about this situation, though, is that, you know, business. I want to speak about business for a minute before I even get further into the conversation or read the article to y'all, because I've did music for almost 20 years now. Well, yeah, 20 years, 22 years to be exact. Since 2003, I dropped my debut album, Game Tight. But what I want to say about business, and I think this is some game to the young artists, the independent artists and everything, they need to hear this, because right when you go into this game, treat it as if it's business. Don't treat it as if you doing songs with your homeboys and y'all linking up in the studio making music and all of that. Treat it as if it's business off top. Don't get no features for free. Just because you know little Ray down the street, your homeboy say he got a plug out of town and they want to do a song with you. Get your paperwork together and do your song together, because people take the street element like, oh, that's my nigga, I can get him to do a show. Oh, that's my nigga, I can get him to do a feature. Oh, he'll come in and do an in-store signing. You know, that's something that growing up in Knoxville, Tennessee, you know, I had trouble with that, because I was doing songs with people just because we went to school together and they was my homeboys and this and that. And then people expected shit to be free, like permanently. Like I'm their plug to you know what I mean, do songs with and access the studios and access the mixing and mastering because we cool. Nah. You know, you only want to be around people that view this thing as a business. And then when you start viewing it as a business, you know, they'll stop viewing you as cool. You'll be like, damn, y'all ain't rocking with me no more. You ain't kicking it with me no more, because, you know, I value myself. I just want to tell y'all off top, to the young artists, view it as a business. That's one thing before we even get into this article, because I really don't know what's going on. I just know that Camron sued Cole, that I can commend them New York brothers for. Even though they be with the bullshit, they treat this thing as a business off top, because it's a business. It ain't that we just making music and shit. So let me get into reading this article right quick, man. So the Harlem rapper alleges Cole reneged on a deal, subsequently appeared on one of Camron's single or his podcast. Okay. Platinum selling rapper Camron has filed a new lawsuit alleging fellow hip-hop star JCole refused to honor an agreement they struck over their song Ready 24, which appeared on Cole's fourth mixtape, Might Delete Later, released last year. In his complaint filed Tuesday in Manhattan federal court, golly, he took him to the federal court in Manhattan, and obtained by Rolling Stone, Camron says he hasn't received any financial compensation for his work on the collaboration and was only credited as the compensation's co-author and not as a performer. Even though his vocals appear on the track, the musician, whose legal name is Cameron Giles, is asking a judge to issue a court order that declares him a co-author of the sound recording. He also wants an order directing Cole and Universal Music Group to audit the royalties received for Ready 24 so he can be paid his proportionate share of such monies. The lawsuit states reps for Cole and UMG did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Tuesday. I can't wait to hear from the other side, because listening to that or whatever, he hasn't been compensated at all. Cole had Camron on a previous project, and it seemed as if they was doing good business together. But like I said, business is sketchy when it comes to hip hop, and he's not with Rock Nation no more. So, the business might not be being handled accurately. But I want to play this clip from the Joe Budden podcast and see what they had to say about this situation with JCole getting sued by Camron.
Apparently Camron is suing JCole.
CYT. What?
CYS, I mean.
For what?
Back last year when JCole dropped the Might Delete Later.
Okay.
He did the I'm Ready 2024 version. Yeah. Apparently there was an agreement made for Cam's contribution to that JCole would either contribute to a future project of his or appear on the It Is What It Is show.
Oh.
And he hasn't done either. So now Cam is suing, saying I haven't been fairly compensated for my contribution to that project.
Okay. This seems like it's something that could be solved in a text or email, but maybe they try.
JCole pay Cam and
or that.
JCole got it.
Of course. Yeah, I don't.
Why didn't they just figure out some type of? Well, I guess they did figure out some type of compensation.
They did.
Because Cam might have said, "I don't want the money. I much prefer you to come on my show. You never came on my show. I don't know the particulars of it."
Yeah, I might have been asking you for months to come on my show, and you dubbing me. Well, I'm not outside right now.
I'm suing JCole too. Fuck that.
If I'm JCole, but if I'm Cole, all my pop outs are strategic.
Hey, fuck all this shit, nigga. I'm suing that nigga too. Hey, if I got any reason to bring Jermaine to court, just for fun, just to say you did it, that's bad.
Is that a fair barter? A verse for a show appearance?
Mm-hmm. No, can't say that. Depends on
fair if they think it's fair.
Yeah, it might
they
be.
agree. That is true.
In your prime, what was a Joe Budden verse worth?
In my prime,
yeah.
From a major label,
yeah, like if you were making a barter
brown
with
bag money.
Oh, that's interesting. I was thinking in terms of an exchange. Like if a Cole verse is worth an appearance on the pod, what would yours be worth?
No, Cam verse is worth an appearance on the pod.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, a Cam verse is worth. Yeah, right. Then Cole appearing on the pod.
But Cole is also a huge Cam fan.
Yeah, and they've worked together before.
So that's where it gets.
So they have the value of the verse.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. They have some sort of amicable relationship, even if it's just professionally clearing samples. So who knows? But to answer your question, if it were a major label in my prime, I could have got maybe 25. But again, inflation happened since then, so that sounds low now. But 25 in my prime, but brown
it's probably like 50 now. Yeah.
Oh, in terms of today, it would be 50 grand.
Yeah.
It would be 50 grand. Like if Christina Milian or Marcus Houston, somebody call, I would get 50 grand in today's language.
Got you. I'm thinking about that because the reason I asked was because I'm thinking about the barter, and I'm like, if I'm trying to start, it is what it is at that time. I'm just using that number. A Cole appearance when you're trying to get subscribers, you're trying to build it up. That still seems.
It is what it is. Took off rather quickly.
Yeah,
it did.
Like overnight, like
episode 2.
Yeah,
and I feel like that was out before the mixtape in question. I could be wrong. And granted, they could. They could.
I think it is what it is. Was out before. So who do you think was being more fair? Cam?
That's what I'm trying to understand. Yeah.
It sounds even Steven.
Well, Cam didn't.
A little bit.
Okay.
Cam didn't rap on that.
Seems like
so.
I know I let you use my shit. I let you use my shit, and I ain't take no bread. So
it don't sound like a bad change to me.
And I think if I'm Cam, they agreed, so it couldn't be that bad. I think at the time. I think if I'm Cam, I'm like, yo, keep your bread, just do me a solid the way I'm doing you a solid.
Man, Joe Budden know good and damn well a verse from him worth $5K, nigga. Now, right now, you doing the podcast and everything, it might be worth a little bit more because you're piping hot from the show or whatever, but a verse back in the days, I wouldn't have gave Joe Budden $5K, nigga. Ain't nobody about to make no money with no feature from Joe Budden on their album. Stop. I want to know in the comment section what y'all thoughts about that. What would y'all have paid for a hot damn, you know what I'm saying, a Joe Budden verse? Heard the song too.
No more, I got it on lock, I told you.
Let me turn that down. My fault, y'all. I ain't trying to get no copyright strike, even though it don't even matter. You know, I'm just creating the content for y'all. I didn't know, I did know, but I didn't have it as a talking point. That's a sample from a Camron and Joel Santana song. That's a sample. So some of the money gone already, Cam. He got to clear the sample. You know, somebody's getting a portion of the money because it's a sample on the song. That ain't your sample. You sampled that sample. Also, so you already know that. So now they brought up something that I wasn't even thinking about. Is it fair? A verse for a show appearance? I say no. Because, you know, a verse is a one-time thing. You can't break it down into pieces. When you get on a podcast platform, the show might do 1 million views. You might get 100,000 subscribers from having Cole on your show. You know, we ain't going to act as if Cole is just some little appearance. He's up there with, if you got Drake or if you got Kendrick on your show, he's just as valuable as them two. So at the end of the day, this lawsuit, this 500,000 or whatever, it seems, you know, kind of petty, but we know that Camron is petty. It's petty on his end because Cole don't really care. You messing up a friendship for a little bit of money though, but business is business, like I was saying. So, you know, that ain't a fair trade neither, Killer. Like you having him on the show because you're going to break it down into clips and break it down into pieces. You're going to put it on audio platforms. You're going to put it on YouTube. You're going to put it on a website. You're going to be getting money all over the place from it. But a song is just going to be a one-time thing. So, you know, it would have been a good look showing that they had a relationship being on the show though. But, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's just, you know, let me keep reading the article. So, hold up. Let me get to the article. In the 7-page lawsuit, Giles also accuses Cole of reneging on other promises related to the collaboration. He claims contributions to Ready 24 came with a certain specific conditions, including that he be granted final approval before the song's release. He says Cole also agreed to collaborate him on a future single. Giles says he and Cole recorded Ready 24 in June 2022 in New York City, and that he told Cole at the time that the song couldn't be released until Cole performed on the future single with him. Let me stop right there. Now, I see the word told being used a lot in this. And, you know, the word told means that this is a verbal agreement, not an agreement in writing. When you do anything in court and you file in a lawsuit, you're going to have proof of that verbal agreement if you have it on audio, a clip or something like that, an audio MP3 that y'all made that agreement, because in court you have to have proof that that agreement was made. And if it's not in writing, or if you don't have some sort of audio, then you don't have no proof. Now if that was the agreement though, let me say something. If that was the agreement, Cole is foul on his part, because Cam said he wanted final approval before the song's release. And he also wanted to collaborate with him on a future single. Him having access to the future single would have gave him time to promote the future single so he can make sure that the future single is profitable for him. So that's kind of foul on Cole's part. Let me keep reading. He claims Cole initially agreed, but then pushed back when Giles asked him to perform on one of 2 songs that Giles has previously recorded. Cole allegedly told him he preferred to collaborate on the song they created together. I agree with Cole. You know, these previously songs that you recorded, we don't want none of that old shit, nigga. Let's do something fresh together and make it fly. The collaboration never materialized despite due requests by plaintiff, the lawsuit states. Giles claims that when he reached out to Cole again in July 2023, Cole told him that instead of collaborating on a future song, he wanted to appear on Giles' podcast. It is what it is. Oh, so Cole said that he want to appear on a podcast. Between July 2023 and April 24, Giles and Cole continued to communicate, but Cole repeatedly said he was unavailable to appear on the podcast, the lawsuits claims. Damn, this borderline snitching though, Cam. You know, you claim to be a street nigga and all that old though, Cam. You not no more. You claim to be removed from the streets though, but you did give, you know, Dame Dash hell. You know, you gave Dame Dash hell when he tried to sue you just a couple of months ago or a month ago. You was talking about Dame trying to sue me and was complaining about it like it was something wrong. Now you doing the same damn thing. How about that, my buddy? That sounds a little spooky. You know, Cole subsequently released Ready 24 in April 2024 with Warner Chappell Music registering the composition but not the sound recording. Giles believes he is owed at least $500,000 for his portion of the song's royalties, the lawsuit states. The lawsuit claims Giles also deserves attorney fees and any further relief as the court deems equitably proper. You know, $500,000 is a bit much, Cam. It's a bit much, buddy. You know, I don't think that, you know, your portion of that song was worth that. Wasn't worth no half a ticket. Even though, you know, you can see the statistics on these platforms, and if you know what these platforms pay based upon the statistics, you can kind of add up the money that's being made, though. But a half a ticket, spooky. This nasty, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what JCole's side has to say. I doubt we'll hear anything from JCole. We'll probably hear something from his lawyers. But, you know, what's y'all thoughts about this in the comment section? I would like to hear, and I would like to get in the comment section with y'all and converse, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to my show. Peace, love, plenty, abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.